podcasts. According to Sports Illustrated, Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft displayed a, quote, clear level of tension at last week's NFL meetings. The Patriots finished last season 8-9. They've missed the playoffs in 2 of the last 3 seasons. Shannon, could this be Belichick's last year, his last stand in New England?
Absolutely. It should be. If you don't get this thing on the right track. Skip, sometimes coaches forget that it's a business. Now, they're quick to tell their players this is a business. But I think sometimes they forget that this is a business because coaches want things they never afford their players. Tom Brady didn't get a lifetime contract. He won 6 Super Bowls. Why the hell should Bill Belichick get a lifetime contract? Tom Brady went to the playoffs every year he was in Tampa. Yeah. Won a Super Bowl, won 2 divisions. Okay, what has Coach Belichick done since Tom Brady got up out of town? Went to the playoffs once, and they lost 47-17, and Buffalo didn't punt one time.
Didn't punt. Yep.
So they're 25-26 when you include that playoff loss. And he thinks he should get a lifetime contract? If I'm Mr. Kraft, I wish. He calls him Billy. Billy, you on the hot seat.
Yeah.
You don't win this year. We don't win some playoffs. We don't make some improvements. Because guess what? I can pay a coach $5 million to do exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because me paying you $15, $20 million to miss the playoffs, and just, you forget all that money they spent in free agency a couple years ago, Skip.
Yeah.
Mr. Kraft say, hey, what my return? See, when you get worth the kind of money Mr. Kraft worth, when they invest in something, they want to see a return. I ain't got no problem. Okay, we was doing this when Tom was here. I saw the return on my investment. Last game being played, I'm normally standing on the podium with the commissioner. He gave me the Lombardi. I ain't seen that. I ain't got no division titles. I ain't got nothing to go along with all that stuff you talking. So get it done, or I'm going to find somebody that will.
So all the reports say the relationship between Kraft and Belichick is getting chilly at best. I think it's going to turn into a Cold War sooner than later. Okay.
I think Mr. Kraft's still upset that he let Coach Belichick talk him into getting rid of Tom.
Maybe. And I had a flash of this morning. Is there any way Kraft goes to Belichick and says, let's go get Tom and have him come back for maybe 1 or 2 more, into the line years?
Well, if he wants Coach Belichick to lose a lot sooner, then maybe he wants to go do that.
Well, you could do that. All right. So, as you know, I dug in on this a long time ago. I've always thought Belichick was a little overrated. You've been a big fan of his.
Yes.
I'm like, because I never liked his attitude. I always thought Tom saved him in the locker room as the all-time buffer. Just tune him out. It'll be okay. We'll figure it out. Just us. We'll figure it out. Okay, so we look back at Cleveland. And everybody deserves a second chance. You see coaches,
of course,
Carroll and others, have big second hurrahs. And yet in Cleveland, Belichick lost 4 out of 5 years. He finished 36-44 in the regular season, and he got fired. Then he goes 5-11 his first year in Foxborough, and he's on a little bit of a hot seat. I know I talked to an assistant on that staff who said we were thinking about putting our homes up for sale at that point because we weren't sure how much longer we were going to last. They opened the next year, the second year in Foxborough, by losing 2 games, and then that guy fell out of heaven into his lap.
With the head on,
he did.
On Bledsoe.
He did. And the rest is literally history.
Right.
So that's a grand total of, so before Tom Brady fell into your lap, you were 41-57 as a head coach in the regular season.
Combine that with after Brady,
25-25. So that adds up to you are 66-82 as a head coach during the regular season. In the postseason without Brady, you're 1-2 because you did win a playoff game in Cleveland without him, and you lost one. And then, to your point, 47-17 happened. So you're 1-2 without him in the playoffs. So you're a way sub-500 coach. What is that? That'd be 4. So you're 16 games under 500 as a regular season head coach without Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. And I haven't seen progress. I haven't seen signs of life. And now you're struggling with Mac Jones. And I think look, I don't care who you replace Brady with, you're just going to struggle with it because it's not going to be fair.
Right.
And now you've sort of discovered Bailey Zappi, and you're saying, well, maybe it's Bailey Zappi, and you're going back and forth, and you won't commit to either one, and you're not happy with Mac Jones, and he's not happy with you. And it was completely unfair to Mac Jones last year because you saddled him with a coordinator who was a defensive coordinator by trade.
So in other words, I struggle because of your arrogance and because of your ego.
Yeah.
Because you thought you could do this. But Skip, I don't know why coaches have a resume. You got to update your resume too.
Yeah.
Just like players got to update their resume. Coach Belichick, update that resume. I know what you did with Tom for those 19 years. Now I need to see an updated version of your resume without Tom.
Correct. And then out of nowhere, Kraft drops a little bombshell on Belichick's head saying that Meek Mill texted Kraft to say that Lamar Jackson is interested in playing for the Patriots. And he was like, oh, but that's Bill's side of the operation. You know, he does all the football, so it's up to Bill to make that choice. And it's like he was suggesting, Bill, you awake over there? You interested in this? Because you have final say on football, but maybe you should think hard about this one.
Right.
And then who was it? Asante Samuel piped up and said,
no, you don't
Lamar, you do not want to play for him. And I would second that emotion.
Yes.
Because I think Tom Brady would say, no, you probably don't want to play for him because it wasn't that fun.
No.
Who has said, how many times have we seen the ex-Patriots say, it just wasn't that fun?
It's a lot harder to play for that type of system if you weren't indoctrinated in it, if you didn't get drafted there. Now, you came and you saw how it was someone else, and they don't talk to their players like he talks to his players. That's a culture shock.
Yes, it is.
And so, Skip, you know how you Skip on IG, you see this before and before? Coach Belichick, let's do a before and an after.
Yeah.
Boy, that after picture is terrible. You're supposed to look better in the after than the before.
Yeah.
Now we just got an after and an after.
Yeah.
And both are terrible.
Both are terrible. I don't think you could have played for Bill Belichick.
No. Unless, like I said, Skip, you know, playing for Coach Reeves, you know how Coach Reeves, he's a chip off Coach Landry's block.
Yeah. But you know what?
It's a lot easier.
I know Dan very well. His heart is big and good. He's a tough guy, but
his mouth is nice and foul.
Well, it is. But I know his heart, and his heart is good. Once he loves you, he loves you.
He does. I was one of his favorites.
And you were, and he would fight for you, but he's also going to tough love you, and you're going to hear about it when he doesn't think you're doing it the right way.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. But there's love behind. I know Dan.
Yeah.
He's got a heart.
He does.
I'm not sure about Belichick. I'm just not sure. It's so old school, and he got away with staying old school because he had Tom Brady as his leader in the locker room and his quarterback.
You can get away with a lot when you win.
You can.
Because, I mean, there are times that he did things, and I know it ruffled. Because I would say that's terrible when I was at CBS, but we know that's an AFC team. And that was one of the teams that our number one crew spent a lot of time. So they didn't like me taking shots. But I just call it like I see it. I said one day, Coach Belichick makes it real easy for you to root against his team and to dislike him.
Okay. So I thought all along that once they pushed Brady out the back door, and they did.
Yeah.
Remember, Kraft sided with Tom the first time.
Yep.
At the trade deadline on Jimmy G. And pretty much forced Bill
to trade Jimmy.
To trade him. And then out of spite, I thought he gave Jimmy away to the Shannahans just to say, you know, watch this.
Right.
Watch what I do back to you.
Right.
Okay. But I just thought as soon as Brady got pushed out the back door, that Bill was going to get exposed for exactly what he was. And slowly but surely, they're sinking into the sunset. And now Robert Kraft has gone along for an all-time great ride with this team, with Belichick and with Brady. And I don't take anything away from Bill as a defensive coordinator. I think he is an all-time great defensive coordinator. And his game plan against the greatest show on turf in that first Super Bowl was extraordinary.
Right.
And that helped win the game. And then Brady came up big at the end of the game.
Well, you know his game plan, what they did to the Buffalo Bills in 1990.
Okay.
Is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Okay, and that's a Parcells. Belichick is the defensive coordinator.
That game plan for the defensive side is like, let Thurman Thomas run.
Okay, I don't doubt that. So you can certainly make a case that Belichick and Brady were a great team because as Brady grew up into the position, he became his own offensive
But it seems to me that Skip, because I won after you and I won outside of you, it seems to me, and it appears to a lot of people, that Belichick needs Brady more than Brady needed him. Now, I don't know if they would have had the same level of success had they started scratch. Brady starts over here and Belichick starts over there, because we saw Belichick start without Brady. It didn't go well. We don't know what Brady could have been. The likelihood of him winning 6 somewhere else, I don't know. We'll never know. But we do know this because we have empirical data to show it.
Yeah. Tom
Brady won a championship, won division titles without Coach Belichick. And Coach Belichick has not been able to replicate, haven't been able to come close of replicating what he did with Tom for 19 years.
That's why I always gave Brady 75% of the credit.
Hell, I might give him 90 now.
And it might rise up toward 90. And it's going to be incumbent upon Mr. Kraft to make the toughest decision he's ever made. Because no matter what I think or don't think of Bill Belichick, he is all-time. He's a Mount Rushmore head coach.
He is.
Are you going to fire him? Are you going to ease him into the sunset? Are you going to encourage him to retire?
Right.
Where it looks better and feels better than it would if he had to fire him.
Well, I mean, Coach Belichick, he don't strike me as a guy stepping away. And plus, he's so close to this Coach Schuler's record. He wants that.
Agreed.
And I think if he gets that out, Skip, I don't see somebody playing as coaching this long to break the record if he were to get it.
Yeah.
Do you understand how much they won in that time frame? You're never going to see a team win like the Patriots won. You're not.
You're not. Agreed. Whew.
It's hard to think of the Patriots without Belichick. They are so linked.
We thought of it without Tom.
Things changed, right? I agree. I had to coach myself up for months not to say Patriots. All right, guys, when we come back, let's move over to the NFC West. The Cardinals. Do you think they're done with DeAndre Hopkins? What's next for D-Hop? That's next here on Undisputed.